locked in right now. It's the Wheel1 podcast. It's your boy Master Twice got a special guest in the cut right here. My good friend Chxnee. You know,
Hi.
she just came and pulled up on me. It's been a long time coming. I've been trying to get her. She's a busy lady, you know, but we finally gotten it done. So, Chxnee, introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, so I'm Chxnee. I'm just a girl with a dream, trying to make it happen out here.
I feel that. I mean, that's what we're all trying to do, you know, and I love that. So we're going to get a little bit into your story, and we're going to do this how we usually do it right here. We're just going to get right into it and tell us about the early life, your upbringing, siblings, family, where you come from. Like, let us know early Chxnee.
Early Chxnee, so I'm a Rex kid at heart.
Shout out to the Rex, you know what I'm saying?
I grew up over by Halasia, I don't even know what that area is called, over by Humber College.
West side.
Yeah, that side. But I mean, I went to Elm Bank, I went to Carr, I went to a little bit of North Kipling over there.
Oh shit! Okay, you're a little bit all over, a
little bit everywhere. But yeah, so I grew up in the Rex. That kind of gave me a little bit of foundation, a little bit of strength.
I mean, that's what comes with it. Sometimes a little thick skin when you grow up out there.
Literally, yeah.
So, like, I want to know a little bit about, like, what are, like, the hobbies and, like, the things that the early Chxnee like to do just for fun?
I was always a reader.
Okay.
I started reading mad young. I was, like, 3 years old, pulling out books.
Oh, shit. You were, like, low-key a genius kid.
Kind of. I won't even lie. Like, I remember, like, a very vivid memory, being in junior kindergarten, counting to 100.
Oh, okay.
And nobody else in the class could count to 100, eh? But I got to 100.
I don't even think I could count to 20 at that time. No cap.
Nah, I got to 100, and everybody was proud of me. They called my mom. It was a thing.
Nah, because that's big, though. Because, like, one of my homies, their daughter, I remember when she was, like, 2 years old, she could, like, had, like, alphabets down and she could count. And I was like, damn, this kid is, like...
Smart.
It made you feel like he's a genius. So I could imagine, especially at the time when, like, these kids can't even count to, like I said, 20. Like myself, I've included me in here. And, you got kids like you count to 100. It's like, oh, shit. We may have a gifted one on our hands.
And I mean, I was in the gifted program the whole of my life.
Okay.
But,
Yo, talk
so
your shit. Talk your shit.
I'm not saying I'm smart because I remember, like, I always thought I did. I was. And then there was this one kid. Oh.
There's always that one who's out best you.
Yeah, his name is Akershan. He knows.
So you know it's real. You didn't even forget his name.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Because I always thought I was the smartest kid in school. And then Akershan came out of nowhere and invented the advanced placement program. And then I couldn't even get into the program. I was just like, what is this kid? And, like, to this day, I still bother him. Akershan. Akershan.
Oh, he knows what it is. He knows it. It's playful banter, but it's like, nah, bro. Like,
I was smart before him.
Like, don't you steal my shine a little bit.
My shine.
It's all good. It's all good,
Well,
though.
yeah.
We shine in different ways, though. We shine in different ways.
And now he's like rocking the world in some kind of something.
I mean, you rocking the world in your type of way, but we're gonna get into that a little bit later, because we still in the early stages. Yeah. So, like, I want to know, like, we talk about reading and, like, what kind of got you into reading as, like, especially a young kid, but, like, carrying that into adulthood as well.
Creativity. Like, I have a very active imagination, and even in what I do now, like, I love the fact that, like, me, I know I'm going to be a serial entrepreneur. I'm going to have a million businesses. But that's because my ideas are always flowing. So I will think, I like this idea, let's find a way to spin it. Right? And so, like, me as a kid, reading was my escape. Like, I loved being, like, thrown into a whole different fantasy world. Like, show me some dragons. Like...
See, I feel like that's the thing that, like, I loved about reading, especially, like, when I started getting into it, was how you could literally just escape from whatever you're doing and get lost in the pages.
Yeah.
And it's better than a TV show or movie, because it was like, it just puts you in the environment. Like, like I always tell people, you can watch a movie and everything, but the movie don't tell you what it smells like in there.
The movie's like a cheat, like you're cheating.
Exactly.
Like they're already showing you what it's supposed to be, but when you're reading it, you're literally using your own imagination to build a world.
Exactly.
So, like, I love that aspect, and then I started writing. I started writing when I was mad young.
What were you writing?
Still fantasy books. Like I like my first book was called Living the Happy Life.
Okay, talk about it. Published
And
author.
it was literally just a book about me going to high school with a whole bunch of friends and boys and just living a good life.
Okay, okay.
And wildly enough, it was 300 some pages.
Oh shit. Okay, okay.
I did
That's a big step for a first book. No cap.
But like looking back on it, it's like it's just a bunch of gibberish. Like it's just like it's
But
just
I still have to commend you for it because like
Yeah.
even as someone like me, like I've thought about like writing a book about my own story. I don't know where to start because it's like I don't know where to start and I don't know how to finish.
You don't have to have a start.
I don't know where to finish.
You're not finished anywhere yet.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not finished. though.
That's the
Finish
complex.
it right up until the day that you stop writing it. That's it.
I guess you see, you know, say you teaching
You,
me out
you
here.
have a start. You know you have a start.
I know.
Same way you're starting this.
know.
Tell me about your childhood.
Yeah.
Tell me what led up to whatever.
Yeah, okay.
So,
See, I just needed a real one to break it down on the Wheel1 podcast. That's how it goes.
And every story has to have like, it has to have a point. So what's your point? Once you figure out your point, that's it.
That's some golden advice. I'm really actually gonna use that because like I gotta start getting
check
to
up
this
on
right.
that book. So
Yeah, I'm getting to we gotta write a few things and we're gonna try to make some things happen. I'm on my active wave too. So we'll just leave that at that. For you guys. But anyways, we're gonna kind of talk about like reading and everything, and I want to know a little bit more of like there's a little bit more passions because like with some of your businesses that you have, I know that there's been some passions that you probably had as a youngster that have like continued on into that, and like I want to hear a little bit about those ones.
I feel like as a kid, I always knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur. Like, I mean, when I wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to have my own practice. Like, when I wanted to be a lawyer, I wanted to have my own firm. When I wanted to be a singer, I wanted to have my own agency. Like, it was never like, I'm going to work for somebody. And so, like, I feel like that is something that transpired or, like, transgressed into my adult life. I just don't believe in, not that I don't want to work for somebody, but I want to be able to inspire people to be the change. And that's why.
I feel like that's a big thing because I feel like a lot of people, they get comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's why they'd rather like just work for somebody because it's an easier, it's less risk.
Yeah. 100%. Less risk, like
less risk, less stress, everything like that. But then like some people, they just want to like, I feel sometimes they just want the extra challenge of like, I don't want someone to tell me how to do things and I still want to build something.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a strong combination that I think most people need because nowadays everyone just fall into that complacency like pattern when no one wants to like live their dreams. That's what I've noticed in my like day-to-day like times past talking to people is that people are very scared to live their dreams. And you're kind of someone who's doing that. Like, what like pushed that out of you? Like, or was that always there?
I feel like it was just always there. It was just I got the right opportunity and I just took it. And like I remember like my restaurant opened up middle of COVID.
I mean, we will get a little bit more into that, We'll get a little bit more into that.
But yeah.
Like what like about that too? Like how did that little like like setback, I guess, like COVID and still like opening up during like how did it like?
Most of the setback I had was like with the city and like actually physically opening up. That was where the setbacks happened. But like once we opened doors, there was probably like a month that was slow, and then boom, COVID was very spectacular for us.
It's funny how I feel COVID was really a make or break season, I call it, because it was like, if you have a plan, this gives you the time to now focus on that plan, refine it, and execute.
Yeah.
And you got time because we're all just sitting here doing nothing. So what else are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And because I started doing this during COVID, like and like started like kind of more building on what I'm doing during the time, and it was just like, yeah, it just gave me the opportunity of like, what do I really want to do? How am I gonna get this done?
COVID gave people a lot of time.
Exactly, and I feel that's what we need because it's like everyone is so fast paced with like the way how society is nowadays, where it's like you didn't have that time to sit down and be like, whoa, do I even really like doing this?
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's a question most people don't ask themselves. Do I even like doing what I do every day?
Yeah. But we're just stuck in a habit or like a knowing. Like this is what you're supposed to be doing. So
this is what everyone else has done for years and years. How could you do different?
Yeah. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you? Yeah.
Oh man, but like now that we're talking about that, I kind of want to get into like how your views are just on like society is nowadays, being a black woman, entrepreneur, a young black woman at that, growing up in like in this today's day and age. Like, how do you feel about like the way society's just portrayed in general? A loaded question, but you know.
Okay, tell me more. Like,
because like I always like to ask people this because I feel like everyone has a different perspective on like how life is going.
Yeah.
And like how they view how life is going on as a society, and I just want to get to know your perspective, knowing with everything that you've been through in life.
I feel like, I don't know, okay, so this is personal, but like I feel like as a black female, I've always had to be the soldier.
Speak on it.
I've always had to be, like, even in my family, like, I've always been the one that, like, if my mom's not playing mom, I'm playing mom, right? And, like, if she's at work, for example, it's me, right? It's, as a black female in general, you're meant to be put to work.
I mean, you know, generationally speaking.
But that has to end. That has to end.
I feel you. I feel like it's the crazy part that it's crazy that you said that, and I like that you said that. And I feel like most black women may feel like that because black women have been like the backbone for black families for these generations. And then on top of that, out of like, you know, the slavery factor into things and just how strong they had to be through that, because during those days they're probably treated the worst on planet Earth, but then you got to be the strongest person out here. Literally, you get all the lashes, but you're supposed to be the strongest. And that's been instilled into us, like literally into the makeup of who we are. And I feel like, and when I open my restaurant, that's me. Even like, I'm sick last week, and I'm just like, I gotta be there. I need to be there because that's just, it's in me. I have to be strong. But I'm over that, to be honest. No, this is what I've realized in life. It's like sometimes people have this, they're put in this predicament where they always have to be strong.
Yeah.
And they never get the opportunity to be like, I am fucking hurting too sometimes.
Literally.
And I need a break.
Literally.
Because like I'm not gonna say I relate to you because obviously I don't. I'm not a woman. You know what I'm saying?
No, but you're a black man.
Yeah.
Who still goes through the same struggles.
Very similar, but then too, like with the disability factor with me, like for me, I would say what I get mostly is people would see me and they see how I'm moving in the chair and they're like, you know, you're so strong. I couldn't do that. And then I'm like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like, you think I like chose this? Like, oh yeah, I built up my strength to be in this wheelchair. No, like it's just I just had to do this. Like, you know, and like I feel that's when people think like it correlates back to what you were saying with like black women, where it's like people expect them to be so strong, where it's just like, oh, you're so strong. Like, yeah. You know, down to the point where medically, when they like even have babies, they're thought like, oh, nah, you can take this pain, it's okay.
You don't need the epidural.
Yeah, you don't know where your white counterparts can take it, can't, but you're good. You're good.
Yeah, you're built for this. Wild.
So it's like it's really just crazy to see the contrast on just how that happens, and just like how you kind of want to break that mold of even though I am a strong black female,
I don't have to be strong all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how we all should be, because then like it goes back to like you said, as like me as a male, the male ego now makes you feel like, you know, oh, you got to be macho and strong all the time, can't cry, like suck it up. When in general, most guys are, if not more emotional than females, and they hide it so much that's why that emotion builds up, and then you have people like, you know, kill their girlfriend on a rage because she talked to another man, or like, you know, shoot this guy because he stepped on their shoes in the club. Like it's all that built up emotion that you're not letting out. That like, you know, maybe you want to cry about that girl who left you 3 years ago. It's all right, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It happens to the best of us. You know, So it's just, I feel like that's the thing. It's like where we need to talk about the things that we're going through and like be able to have say like I'm having a shit time right now, and there's nothing wrong with me saying that.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna get out of it.
Yeah.
But right now it's fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like you know, and I feel like that's just one thing that.
But that's something that it has to be instilled from childhood. You know how many times you see like little boys and they're upset about something and be like, boys don't cry. Mm-hmm. Oh, boys, man up.
Suck it up, man up.
That annoys me, and I've like literally cussed people because of the fact that boys should be allowed to express their feelings.
Nah, for sure.
If they don't, they're going to grow up to be men
Angry
who have
men.
no idea how to... how to say, yo, this upsets me.
Exactly, because like I found just in my like life and just being a man and just like playing sports and all that shit, there's always that macho male bravado type thing that exudes, and then but then when you come to realize that most of these people, like I said, are very emotional. Because I've had times where I've had with a group of my guy friends, we're sitting down having some real deep conversations that to the point that we're all crying about the shit that we've gone through in real life that we didn't even know each other was going through. See each other every day, but I didn't know you were going through that, and you didn't know. Like it was like, and once I could do that, especially with my homies, shout out my dogs, but like once I could do that with my homies, I was like, I ain't scared to cry in front of nobody. Like what I'm saying, I cry in front of homies about some real shit. Like I'm not like that don't make me less of a man to cry because like you think you're gonna make fun of me because of that, because like at the same time I get back on this macho male bravado shit and be like, so what is it? Like you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what we need to like really teach a lot of young boys is like it's okay to like express your feelings and express how you feel, but then don't let no one make you feel less than for doing that, because 100%. You're not you're just being real while other people are trying to fake the funk, trying to act like they're like Superman or something.
I feel like that's where I'm at. I have to like convince myself or remind myself that I'm also not less than, because I want to live more of my soft life. Right? So like if sometimes I snap at my staff because they expect, or not that they expect, I expect myself to be a superhero all the time. And sometimes I fall short of that. A lot of times I fall short of that.
I mean, we ain't perfect.
No, but I mean, like, I remember a couple weeks ago, I put in 90 hours in 1 week.
God damn.
And in my head, and I'm sure in, like, even my staff's head, they're like, oh, no, she's the owner. She's supposed to. No, I'm not.
No, I got you still, because when you said she's the owner, she's supposed to, I'm like, and then you're like, no, I'm not.
No, like, I'm not. That's why you have a team.
Facts.
If you were just like a one-man shop, one-girl shop, then so be it. Put in your 90 hours and call it a day. But if you're putting in 90 hours, you need to hire a team. Yeah,
I know what you mean, because like even me doing this right now, like this is all me. Like I wear all the hats, so what I'm saying, we were here earlier, you saw the setup, how we get this to set it up, and like I gotta do the editing, and then I gotta do the editing for like the different social medias, because the fucking dimensions and shit, and it's just like it's a lot. I wish I had a team or maybe even somebody like, okay, I'm gonna grab these people for interviews, at least like help me out with that. But it's like I gotta wear all these hats, and like what you said, it's like it's a lot. And where it's like I wish I had a team, and where it's like if you have a team, like like you're saying, it's like of course I don't want to be doing all this fucking. Why do you think I have you guys? Like teamwork made the dream work. Like
And it's just like sometimes I feel bad when I like let them know, hey yo, I'm still human. At the end of the day, and one of my biggest fears was getting sick. Like, because if I'm sick, who's going to put in those 90 hours? Right?
It's like, I heard, I forgot who said, Prime Time. Deion Sanders said this recently. So, like, he's like a Rolex. Rolexes move on, movement.
Yeah.
If you're not, and like he said, people who own businesses, especially, that's how they move. Like, you got to be moving all the time to really get things going. And so it's like you saying your biggest fear is to get sick, because if you get sick, who's going to keep their business moving? Like you're the head of the snake, like, So it's always an interesting contrast to see that, like, and just how you manage that in general. Like, how do you manage that balance of, I need to be so strong because I'm operating a business, but at the same time, I need to realize I'm human and I need my breaks.
Honestly, it's hard mentally. Like, I will always say, like, I'm a person with functional depression, and it's it's a lot. You will see me, and I am excellent all the time, but then it's my staff that really sees me sometimes. That when I'm not in that moment, because something will trigger me, and I'm behind the kitchen crying my eyes out, and they just be like, so what now? Like, are you gonna drop the burger? Like, and I'd be down there bawling.
Are you gonna drop the burger?
Are you gonna what is just the wings? Like, do you need a moment? Should I pat your back? Like, it's wild, but it's just like,
it's not funny, but it's funny.
Yeah, and like I would be there and like full out knowing I'm having like a full on anxiety attack, and knowing that this person's just standing there like
looking at you,
and
like
there's customers out there, and I'm just like, get it together. You have 1 minute. Stand back up and get it done.
See,
right?
but that's the thing. Like again, shout out my therapist Martha. One thing that she taught me was like when you're in those type of moments where you're having anxiety attacks or even like PTSD or something, you have to remember that sometimes you can give yourself a moment, but then you gotta know when this moment's up.
Yep.
I'm up. Like
Yep. Nope.
I can't dwell in this.
Nope.
And I feel like that's the thing. That's where I say where a lot of times where it's like we're allowed to feel things because you're allowed to have that moment
Yep,
and be like,
100%.
bro, this is fucking hard right now.
100%.
You guys leave me alone for a sec. Let me regroup and come back up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's humanizing because I feel like my staff see that and they're like, okay, nah, she's human. Yeah,
Exactly.
she has human feelings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Cause like I've worked for some bosses where like these niggas move like they're fucking
Robots.
yeah.
That's not healthy.
What I had one boss, my last boss, shout out to Sam. He was cool, but like, damn, that nigga scared me. He was like 5'2" though, scared the shit out of me. Like every time he walked through, I was like, I had to make sure I was on point because I'm like, you just could never read him. He was just one of those guys. I remember one time I had to work beside him. He was one of those bosses too. Like he owned this big warehouse, but then he's still like putting it to work with and then. Like I asked him some stupid questions. The man looked at me with such daggers where I thought I lost my job. Like I thought like immediately from this conversation, it doesn't matter what the fuck I do at work. This conversation, he's like, yo, fuck this kid. This kid's stupid. Like, yo, get him out of here. But he didn't do that though. So shout out Sam. But like, I've had some bosses where like I just always on eggshells when they're around.
Yeah. And that's not the kind of person I want to be. Like, I'm always very friendly with my staff. Some people even say that I shouldn't be as friendly as I am. But
Teacher's own.
yeah.
I
I
feel
believe
like
in just being a kind person.
that's a big thing.
And
That's
then
a
whenever
big
I'm
thing.
not a kind person, I always apologize because I'm not always kind.
I mean, that's a great thing too, because I feel a lot of people, it's okay to like apologize to people, but when you feel like you are in the wrong, because that's just people respect you more for that.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's like okay, yeah, I fucked up, my bad. I hope you appreciate the fact that like I'm letting you know this, because I could have been like most people and just said, yeah, I know I fucked up, but fuck that person anyways. But a lot of people do that. They're like, yo, I know I'm on the wrong, but yo, fuck them. They did so and this and that to me back in the day, so I don't give a shit. Like, they just like justify their wrongs with other wrongs, No. But one thing I love to talk about, and we kind of touched a little bit on, and like you did, and I love to get into it. We always like to touch on mental health on the show, and I want to get to know about a situation where you first like had to encounter your mental health and be like, yo, this shit is real. How do I like get through this?
I always dealt with depression. I was clinically. I was
It's okay. It's okay. It happens.
I was clinically diagnosed when I was 12. Initially, my parents divorced. Obviously.
Oh wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
I see that.
Don't worry.
Big trigger, definitely.
So like, I'll have to ask you now, because like there's a lot of kids who like go through the parents divorce. How did that like affect you as a child? Like, did you feel like you were involved or something like that?
Well, yeah, I felt like I was definitely involved in it because. Shout out to my parents.
Shout out to you guys.
But
raise a good person right here.
I hope so. I felt like they used me in the middle. Ayo, Chxnee, tell your mom this. Ayo, Chxnee, tell your dad that. Ayo, Chxnee, tell your mom that. And it was just like, I'm 12. Why am I?
I'm not built to be a messenger in this type of situation.
And like, I literally went from having the perfect family, like Christmas, hot chocolates, and
pajamas,
literally, to. Oh, now we just live with mom. And I was just like, wait a minute, where's dad?
Now we just live with mom. You make it sound bad like that. Still.
I swear to God, we knew we were moving, eh? We're like, okay, we're moving. We get to my new crib. I'm like, so mom, where's dad at? Oh, he's not coming.
Oh, no.
What?
That's how they let you guys know? They didn't let you know beforehand? It was you pulled up to the crib like, so there's a man missing still.
I was like, so which room is he? No. Damn. But, and that's something, like, I know, like, me, I have a niece, and I'm very open with my niece, and I have a lot of conversations with my niece that I probably shouldn't have with my niece. Like, she's on my private Snapchat, but that's because I believe in open communication.
Okay.
Right? And if my parents had sat me down and be like, hey, yo, we are not working anymore. This family unit is not working anymore, and this is what's going to happen. I was definitely smart enough to understand what was going on. It would have prepared me as opposed to me being thrown into everything.
I feel like that's a great thing, that like how the open communication, like especially in households, it could just not be there. Like you could
Yeah.
like live in the same house and then know what's going on, kind of,
But
but then
then
have
no
no
idea.
idea.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, especially for children, I can imagine like how that could affect you, because it was like your life should literally change in a day. Because
Literally.
it didn't. It's like, yeah, you may have seen things, but like, yeah, people fight. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like whatever.
Yeah.
And then now it's like,
No.
boom, boom. Now it's completely different, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And like,
So that messed me up completely. We went through years of, I wasn't even allowed to get therapy. Like, they didn't believe in therapy.
I hate to hear that, because, you know, I'm not gonna lie, even me, like before I really started, you know, talking to my therapist, I was like, fuck, I want to talk to a
Therapy.
therapist for
Yeah.
talking about my feelings. Psst. Like third
But
this
therapy's
session
so
in, I was
good.
crying.
Literally.
Third session in, I was crying. My therapist doesn't even really talk. She just sits there like.
Literally. They expect you to do all the talking. Yeah.
And it's just like, but it's refreshing, and I feel like especially a lot of like the Black youth need it, because they
Yeah.
go through a lot of things that in our society we're taught that hold it down. Like, you know, everybody goes through this. Like, you know, instead of like, no, everybody don't go through this.
Literally.
Like, you know, and it's fucking me up. I need to talk to somebody, because I'm going crazy with all these thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
You know? But continue on, just like how like you just dealt with that in general. And
Yeah, I dealt with it. I dealt with like suicide my whole teenage years. Like,
I'm sorry to hear that.
nah, it's life. Even like, so they say trauma, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't remember most of my high school years. And that's just because of the shit I was going through mentally.
Mm-hmm.
It's just life. Like, I remember like little,
Like, it's like pieces.
yeah. But like, don't ask me how grade 10 went. I don't know. I have no idea. My whole grade 12 year, the only thing that probably stuck out to me was probably when I took my graduation photos and prom. Those are probably the only, and philosophy class. I remember
Shout
that
out to philosophy class. It was lit in grade 12.
Yeah, that was my first class. I never went, and I passed with a 90. I don't know how. But that's the only thing I remember.
What?
I don't
What?
know. I remember a teacher asking me about it. He's like, Chxnee, how? How? You don't go. And I was like, I don't
You
know.
do the work though.
I do the work.
Okay, see, that's the difference.
That's
That's the
the
big
thing, I do the
thing.
work.
You know, some kids they don't go, they don't pick up the work,
No,
and then
no.
now you know you wonder why you got a 20% in this
For
class.
me, getting up that early in the morning was the hardest thing to do, especially in the wintertime. I physically, humanly just could not leave my bed.
Morning person or a night owl?
Me neither. Right now, neither. Like, I like to wake up at like 11 a.m. and I like to be in bed by like 9 p.m.
Bruh.
I have a short window right now.
You're like, I'm using my energy in the time in
Yup.
between. Don't bother me
Yep.
another
And
time.
even then, I don't want to use my energy. It's like, I don't know. I'm not definitely me. When people like invite me to parties,
Yeah,
Nope.
I know what you mean. Still, I've been noticing, like, I be going out sometimes. I'm like, yo, fuck, it's only 11. I'm tired.
11 o'clock's bedtime.
I'm like,
Nope.
yo, I'm tired, dog.
Nope.
Like, yo, I feel
Nope.
like I could sprawl out right now. No cap.
Right? No, I can't. I can't.
So, like, I want to kind of know this, going back to, like, we are talking about, like, you know, just dealing with the clinical, like, the functional depression, like
Yes,
you said.
yeah.
You know? How did you bounce back out of that, like, little rut that you were in, especially as a youth, you know, and then now to where you, like, you know, people probably wouldn't even know that if they met you.
No, they wouldn't. But for me, it was my niece. Like, I always knew, like, seeing her, like, she needed a best friend. There was no, like, I could not live with myself knowing that something happened to me and thinking how she would feel afterwards. Right? So, like, I call her my lifeline and, like, my heartbeat. And in every literal sense, she is that. And
It's a literal and figurative thing, like, you know.
and like I've spoken to her about it, but like I don't think she's only 12. I don't think she fully really knows what I mean. But she was it for me, and she was like, so whenever I was having a bad day, it was my niece. I was straight thinking about my niece. This little 2-year-old, I was straight thinking about her because she's gonna need a best friend when she grows up, and it's gonna be me.
I love that, how that's one thing I noticed, like, even when people feel like they have nothing, there could be that one thing that, like, gives you that spark of light to bring you out of the darkness.
She is that for me.
And that's
100%.
amazing. Like, you know, eventually she'll realize that, you know, and
Oh, yeah.
because
She
I'm pretty
definitely
sure she
does.
feels the love, like, you
Oh
know.
yeah, definitely. Everyone knows. Sorry to my nephew, but she's definitely my favorite.
Oh, it's okay.
It's just what it is.
It's okay to be real about it, you know? That's
well,
like,
I mean, like when she was born, it was just me and her. Her parents used to work, so like I'd pick her up from daycare. I would be there putting her to sleep. I didn't get that with my nephew, right? Because his parents were more established at that point. They could like, but me and my niece through the trenches. Me and that girl on the 36, heading from daycare to my house. Like
right, just ride it through. Okay,
Can so you imagine a 16-year-old with a stroller? Like,
I mean,
I take that back. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
You know, we came up in the age where 16 and pregnant was a huge shit show on MTV.
That was wild. Oh, people were watching that show like, wow. And I was like, I don't want to watch this.
People watching that show like thinking like, oh yeah, this is the life. Like we can just have kids at 16 and, you know, we might be on TV and shit. Like ridiculous.
Pass me out.
Ridiculous, you know? But so I kind of want to get into now this, like, how you've established yourself and, you know, especially with your restaurant. Talk about that. Like, let's get into that right now. Because, you know, I be seeing your foods on Instagram. It be making me have the mouth water emoji. You guys already know what I'm talking about.
That was the goal. Honestly, I don't know. Like, people, and I will have a story for this one day. Everyone asked me, even yesterday, a lady asked me, like, what's my story? And it's just like, I don't really have a story.
I mean, you've been telling it right now.
I guess. But how long the story is. Like, you know, when people like, I know a girl, and she's phenomenal, and she's exactly who I want to be in a year. And she started her own, like, peanut-free, nut-free, gluten-free snack because she had an allergy. She had, like, an allergic reaction to something.
And she's like, oh, I need something to eat, bro. Yeah. I need something that tastes good.
And that was her story. Look how bomb that story is. Me, I'm just like...
I mean, you did just tell a story about how you've been a functional depressed person, found the light in your niece, and then turned that into being a serial entrepreneur. That sounds like a story right there. I'm just saying. I guess. You know, and you know, we just been doing an interview, so you know there's a lot more. Like, you know.
I guess. I guess. Okay, let's put it that way then. Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah. So I just had the opportunity. Thankfully to my father. He gave me the opportunity to open a restaurant.
What made you want to open a restaurant in particular?
I've always been in the hospitality field. Always. Like, okay. My first job, I was a host, and then I became a server, and then when I was 19, I started managing, and it's just like, I just realized, I'm tired of doing what I do best for other people. Oh. It's just time to do it for myself, right? I see the way I am with my people. I see the way I am with my staff. My last job I was at, I wanted to implement so many menu changes. And they're just like, ooh, Chxnee, we're a big franchise. Like, we can't do that. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I opened up my own place. I can change whatever I want now.
So, yeah, it was like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm feeling this menu today, bro. New one.
I change my drinks all the time, and people are like, so can you get a pineapple punch? Nope, we don't got that.
We when I have that.
We have something better. Yeah, so.
I think I love that, like, how, like, you always wanted to upgrade yourself, and like you said, you were building from the jump. Like you said, you started in the hospitality field, and it was always an upgrade to the point where it's like, I can do this myself.
Yeah, literally.
And like, you know, then how much did it take though the courage to actually say, fuck this, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing over at this established place and go into doing my own thing?
You know what? Like, I didn't even think about it. But that's how I know that I'm on my proper path. I'm like on my God-given path, because it's like, it didn't, like, in my head, I found the space. I told my job, I was like, hey, oh yeah, I'm opening up a restaurant. And they're like, you're opening up a restaurant? Like, everything is shut down. No one can dine in. Like, what do you mean you're opening up a restaurant? I'm like, I found the place. I want to do it. Like, I'm just doing it. I didn't even think about it.
I feel like whenever you find your niche in life, because like, I feel like it was kind of like the similar feel me when I like first started like acting. I got onto a set. It was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing.
It just fit you.
It just felt right, and it was like, I'm riding this till the wheels fall off.
Oh, 100%.
And like, just hearing your story right now, it feels like you had that when you found that place. You were just like,
that's it.
It was second nature. It was like, yeah, this is the goal. This is the wave right now.
And then my dad asked me, so what are you gonna open? I'm like, soul food. Why soul food? I don't know.
Felt like it.
It's soul food. He's like, nah, Jamaican restaurant. I said no.
There's like 1,000 of those in the GTA.
Yeah. When my Jamaican restaurant's gonna be fine dining, cuisine. Like
Okay.
it's gonna be.
It's
not gonna
bougie
be,
Jamaican.
It's
No,
bougie Jamaican.
It's not. You
Yes,
know,
it's
it's not
uptown
it's not the rude lady at the counter saying
No.
we don't have extra oxtail
Oh
gravy.
no. Oh no, that's not it. And that's what I didn't want to open.
You know, but shout out to those ladies though, because
Yeah.
their food's always banging.
I have a couple of them. I know a few places. Yeah, 100%. But I mean, I want different. I want class.
And I love that, like, you wanted that change, because, like, especially, like, with me being, like, especially, like, with being black in Toronto, I feel most black people in the city are more, like, that Caribbean like, side of, like, black people.
Yeah.
And then, like, soul food is more like almost like an African-American thing, and it's
Yeah.
not found as much here.
No.
So it's, like, a niche to get into where it's like, oh, I don't really get this anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like you said, because, like you said, there's 1,000 Jamaican restaurants,
Yeah.
but, you know, when you get yours, it's gonna be something different, you know?
Oh, there was a place in Ajax, and they shut down Rum Diaries, but that was my favorite Jamaican spot.
Okay.
And they had like coconut milk, rice, and peas, and they served it, and it looked like a rectangle. Like it was a vibe. They had like live jazz. It was a vibe.
Ooh,
it was a vibe.
That's what you call fine dining. You need a
But
glass of wine with
they
that.
still kept they still kept their bones on, right? But like
Still kept it yachty, but classy.
Oh yeah. That's me.
So, like, let's talk about a little about, like, you know, what's like going into your restaurant again. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what was like some things, or like when you thought of the menu soul food, what were a couple things that came to mind, and what are some of the top sellers right now?
So I feel like when I made my menu, I was just like, I'm going full Louisiana with this menu. Like I want catfish, I want collard greens, I want candied yams, I want all those good stuff. And then I realized how hard it was to get those things in Toronto.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a long trip from down south all the way up here.
There's no real catfish here. And then the catfish that they have here is alive. And I had catfish on the menu once, and I had to go buy it. And I was like, can I just get some catfish? And they're like, they pointed to me some things that were swimming. And I was like...
Yeah, they're at the bottom of the tank.
I was like, okay. I had to send someone else to go buy it. Because I'm not killing no fish.
Like, I'm not no murderer. I'll cook it, but I ain't no murderer.
Yeah. Like it has to be skin off, no face, no tail. Like,
yeah, like this is this food. Like this was not previously alive.
And it's, I don't know. So, yeah.
But yeah, let's hear more just about like top sellers now. Like, you know, what are the things that are flying off over there?
So, top sellers are chicken sandwich. We have this jacked up chicken sandwich.
I've been seeing it still, low key, you know. I love me a chicken sandwich, you know. I keep it true nigga like that.
Oh, yeah. And people like it because they say it's juicy. Like, you know,
I mean, that's what chicken sandwiches can't be dry, though.
Well, but I mean, you go to certain places, and like, you know, because they're frozen, you don't get that juice. Us, you literally see the raw chicken go dun 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 and into the fryer.
Okay.
So like,
okay.
Definitely, people say it's juicy. They love the size. I personally like cooking with alcohol, right? And so initially, the sandwich was called the jacked up chicken sandwich because I made it with Jack Daniels.
Oh! I like the wordplay.
Right?
I like the wordplay.
A lot of people like the wordplay in the restaurant. They come in, they're like, "Oh, sightings!" And I be like, "What do you want on your side? Like, can you just tell me your side?"
Yeah, sightings. But I love that.
Yeah, one guy came in with his wife one time. He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna order a sighting, but like, tell my wife it's just food." I was like, "Okay, cool."
I mean, clearly his wife is not playing because he didn't have a few side things that she didn't cut. So he's like, I ain't trying to make those jokes.
I'm not trying to be involved in that kind of conversation. Just order your food. But yeah. So, but then initially, I didn't even realize that we were going halal.
Oh, okay.
We were like fully streaming down halal, and then I was just like, okay, cool, we'll run with it. So I had to take out the alcohol out of all my menu items.
That's true. That's a little haram, but you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, we got a little, you know. Yeah. We break the rules a little sometimes, you know.
But yeah, so we went fully halal. Our chicken sandwich bomb. Our cornbread. I'll get back to that one.
All right, we'll get back to it.
Our chicken wings, people love how like fresh and juicy our chicken wings are. Once again, I think it's just a not frozen thing. I think it's I make my own jerk seasoning.
Ooh.
So it's not like I'm getting no.
So this is a special sauce that you're getting strictly at
and
the
you
restaurant.
taste that like right down to the bone because we let the chicken wings marinate and stuff. So like same thing with the shrimp. Like Shrimp is my stuff.
See,
Shrimp is
low
my
key, you're
stuff.
getting me hungry right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have brought a plate too.
Nah,
like,
that would have been lit.
no,
That would have been lit.
there
It's
should have been
okay.
a
It's
plate
okay.
in front of you.
That would have been, free advertising.
It's okay.
Right there. It's
Next
okay.
time.
It's okay. Don't worry. We're gonna like link the food page in here
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Anyway, so don't even
yeah.
worry about it. We'll put it like right here for you guys. You might as well drop it right now. Let them know what the food, the
And
restaurant.
so it's
food
called
is.
Honey Soul Food. It's honey3ys.to.
Have that right here for you guys.
It's a household name. You already know it.
Come on, don't act like you.
Don't
If you
even-
don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
Like you got to let them know right there.
Yeah.
So now we done talked about honey.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know now that we're kind of getting now to like the closing bits.
Wait, hold on. My cornbread.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my cornbread.
How we forget about the
My
cornbread?
cornbread.
My bad. You know what I'm saying?
So-
Talk about that cornbread that be getting the ladies stick out here.
Ooh. My cornbread. That's a little special. You know when you have cornbread and it's like that dry stuff? And then you have to put the butter on it. And
or you need a huge glass of water to down it with. You know those ones?
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
Okay.
I think, and I will openly say, I think I changed the game of cornbread when I dropped my cornbread. And like now I'm seeing a lot of cornbread that comes out that looks like my cornbread, and I kind of get a little upset.
So niggas are stealing your sauce.
But because I feel like cornbread had a typical look initially, and I feel like in the Canadian sense, even some American states do look a dry cornbread. But when you go down south, their cornbread doesn't look like that dry.
It's fat and it looks moist.
Moist.
Yeah.
And that is what I had to recreate. So now, yes, definitely. Can I tell the secret? I can tell the secret?
We getting a special sneak peek on here for you guys.
Okay, so everybody loves our cornbread. Our cornbread, household name. We're actually going retail with our cornbread.
Oh shit, niggas! You guys would have heard it first right here. Honey cornbread going retail.
Yep.
We're gonna bring it right to your front door into your households.
So now you don't have to drive to Mississauga to come get 3 liquor. And people don't even buy 3 anymore. Like we're selling out 24 cornbreads, and I'd be like, "Can you pre-order this? Don't just walk in and order 24 cornbreads."
Yeah, because we need time to make all this. Like,
so, but now you can literally have your own batter and make it at home, right? And we made it mad easy. We made the batter for you. All you literally have to do is add an egg.
Add an egg, throw that,
Throw it in your oven, and now you have Honey's cornbread right in front of you. Thanksgiving, Christmas, never made easier. Any kind of potluck, never made easier. They're gonna think you came all the way to the store, and really and truly.
Nah, and most people are gonna be just probably taking it off as their own. Like, oh, this is the family recipe.
Make sure you tag my name in it. Thank you. You got it from Honey.
Don't disrespect. Like she see me seeing these people doing with her cornbread, trying to take it as their own.
Unless you really can't cook, you can take a little credits.
You know what I'm saying? They did warm it up.
You added your little flick of the wrist.
A little something. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a really cool thing. I'm very excited for that. That's next chapter.
That's amazing. And like, I'm glad that we got to be the sneak peek on that.
Yeah. So we started in a couple weeks.
Okay.
But we're just gearing that up. We're just building, we're advertising. But yeah, you're gonna see me on shelves soon. That's
amazing. That's amazing. I wanna walk into Walmart and Superstore and be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? That's my friend, that's my girl right here. You know what I'm
I
saying?
broke the news. You remember? You gotta be like, I broke the news for this.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be taking pictures with it like this, you see me, But yeah, for sure, I love that. I love to hear you doing big things.
Yeah.
Let's talk right before we get out. We got to talk about what else is up next for you. What else is up for next for Chxnee? What's the goals? What's the plans? Plug yourself in, all that.
Everything.
My
VP's over there like, well,
we're not gonna let it all out. We're not gonna let it all out.
But everything. I will say that my biggest goal, and I tell this to all my staff when I hire them, I'm trying to end generational poverty.
For that, because that's some real nigga shit right there.
That is my thing. Too many people grow up and be like, my mom grew up in the hood, therefore I have to be in the hood. No, you don't.
You
don't. And you're gonna raise your kids in the hood too. You don't have to. But you know why? They're never giving an opportunity.
Facts.
So my biggest thing is with any of my businesses, and I say this when I hire them: if you show me you can have it, it's yours. Done. And to own like a Kelsey's and stuff, it's like $400,000. Then you gotta prove that you have like $500,000 to maintain it. Who has that kind of money?
Or credit good enough to make it to let someone lend them that money.
So it's just like, I'm just here trying to give someone an opportunity. I will change your life if you show me that you want it.
I feel like that's an amazing thing. Sadly, a lot of people don't want it. They say they do, but they really don't. You know, you got to have the action with the words. But it's amazing that you want to do that, because like, you know, that's something that like, I want to do too, especially like in my communities where I feel like there's not much things for the kids to do, and then the things that maybe they want to do, they feel like it's impossible to reach, or how do I even get started?
Impossible is not a real thing.
No.
That's one of my biggest things. There's no glass ceiling.
I remember once I heard a saying that to allow no limits, there are no limits.
Literally.
No limits allowed, no limits exist.
Yeah,
and that's what it seems like was going on for you right now, Chxnee. You know, it's no limits allowed, no limits exist. She's going to the top. If you haven't noticed, like, you know, in this small little time that we've been talking together, she's going to the top.
I'm trying to take everybody with me, though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's not a solo trip. It's not a solo trip.
No, nothing can be solo. Nothing can be solo.
See, and that's the beauty of it right there, because once you give back, you inspire somebody else to do exactly what you did for them.
That's what I want to do. I want to inspire the change. I want to be the impact. That's my thing.
And there's no better way to end it than you being the impact of the people around you and inspiring big change. You already know what this is, you know. Thank you again, Chxnee, for coming through. You know, this is Boy Master Twice, the Wheel1 podcast. And we log it off. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. I told you we getting into that. I'm staying on you guys. Hit that button. All right, we out.